Hello children. Today we are going to start detailed poem Ozymandias. It is composed by P.B. Shelley. Yes children, now we are going to discuss the structure of Ozymandias. It is a sonnet. Why it is called a sonnet? Because the poem which has 14 lines is called a sonnet. This Ozymandias has an octave and a sestet. Octave means a stanza of 8 lines and sestet means 6 lines. So the starting 8 line we call it octave and the last 6 lines we call it sestet. Each with their own themes, and line 9 contains a turn in the poem. So in ninth line, complete theme changes. It is a Petrarchian, or we can say it is an Italian sonnet. Now I'm going to read the octave of Ozymandias. This refers to the first 8 lines of the poem. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert, near them on the sand. Half sunk, a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and a snare of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. Theme of this octave, the destruction. Time visits on anything and everything on this earth. The octave describes what the traveler saw, the ruins of the ancient statue of Ozymandias. Now we are going to start explanation of octave. I met a traveler from an antique land. I is used for a speaker or poet who met a traveler. Traveler from an ancient land. And this traveler said, the whole story is based upon what the traveler apparently told the poet. Okay, so what he told, that he noticed two vast and trunkless legs of a stone. The legs were very, very big, but they were detached from the trunk or the upper part of the statue. The stone, it is referring to a statue. Now we are going to start explanation of another line. Stand in the desert, near them on the sand. Stand in the desert, the two legs on the pedestal where they were, near them there was half shrunken face of the statue. A shattered visage. Visage, it means to say the face. It was half shrunken, and that visage was of Pharaoh, whose frown here means which had expressions of anger. Okay, so half sunk, the stone face from the statue of Ramesses was lying in the desert sand. As the wind of ages blew, the sand covered the statue further and further, making it seem as if it was sinking into the sand. Now we are going to start explanation of further line. And wrinkled lip and a snare of cold command tell that it's a sculptor well those passions read. So here traveler explained or described facial expression of the broken visage of the statue. He explained that visage had wrinkled lips, and it had sneer of cold command. Cold here means to say lifeless. So it means it was dead, or we can say it was unfeeling. So one thing is important here, children, that is alliteration. The second last and last word, it had a same letter, that is C. So this we call alliteration. Repetence of a letter we call alliteration. Then tell that it's a sculptor well those passions read. So here the sculptor tells us that the facial expressions of the pharaoh were same in real life, very accurate in the capturing of the pharaoh's character in the statue. Now next line, which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. Which yet survive and stamped on these lifeless things. It means which are still visible, okay, which are still seen on the visage of that statue. It is because the hand that mocked, here mocked means carved, okay? So the sculptor that carved them, and the heart that fed. So heart that fed means heart which commanded the sculptor to carve all the expressions on the visage of the broken statue. Now we will discuss Cested, or the last 6 lines of the poem. And on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of kings. Look on my works, ye mighty and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. Theme of this sestet: the foolishness of man. Ozymandias believed in his own greatness to the extent that he felt he would defy time by building such a massive statue. The sestet makes the point that nothing is left, all the former glory, other than disjointed parts now in the middle of a desert. The poet uses irony to express the usefulness of power, pride, and arrogance. Now we are going to explain Cested. And on the pedestal, these words appear. Pedestal, the base of a statue, which supports the statue. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. It was written on the pedestal. And further it was written that look on my works, ye mighty and despair. So what is meant by King of Kings? The Pharaoh, in his arrogance, believed that he was the greatest of rulers. He was the King of Kings, and his works were construction of public buildings, statues like that, and were so great that everyone would cower in fear when they observed them. But the irony, however, is that these great works have collapsed and lie in ruins everywhere, and few can even remember who Ramesses II was. Then in third line it is written, ye mighty, the pharaoh enemies, as soon as they saw these statues and monuments, they would know that such great works would indicate a truly powerful ruler. So they would then fear and what he would do to them and their enemies. So finally, those statues and monuments, they were turned into ruins. They were broken. Now next line of Cested. Nothing beside remains round the decay. Nothing, it means there are no works for anyone to look at. There is just desert and a statue that was in pieces. Round the decay, it means to say that even greatest rulers and tyrants are the subject to time's effects of decay. Time does not pick and choose who it affects and who it doesn't of that colossal wreck. Colossal wreck, it means very, very big. However, the effects of time have wrecked the last symbol of the Pharaoh's power, which was the statue. Boundless and bare. It means the desert. It stretches as far as the eye can see. It is so vast that it has no boundaries. It is boundless and nothing grows there. It is completely a barren land. The lone and level sands stretch far away. So there is only the land which is covered with sand. And we are going to see only that desert as far as we can. Then alliteration links keywords and ideas related to the desolation of the scene. That is I and S sounds. Sorry, children, the letter that is not I, it is L. Okay, so the two words which start with L, lone and level. Here is alliteration. And then S is sands and stretch. Here S letter is repeated. So these are the examples of alliteration. With this, the poem ends. Thank you.